Before we go on to LifestylO, a little bit about were there artists who had the same effect on you growing up? Because we mentioned kind of the musicals, but once you developed your musical taste, were there
Yeah, yeah,
artists that you connected with on that level?
totally. I loved Prince and Etta James and Michael Jackson and Billy Joel and of course, and then the other side, I'm always like a Justin Timberlake fanboy and whatever else. And so I loved artists that just like, regardless of the genre of music, you could feel soul. Like you
Right.
just felt a raw energy that was so exciting and authentic. And so that was always inspiring to me.
So is this then that rawness? Is that then the quality you treasure most in music?
Yeah, I think I do. It's so easy to lose a rawness, especially as things get more polished or you gain success in certain ways, and then a lot of people want to hear even more polished and polished and polished. And I think it's easy to forget that people are the most drawn to something that just has no filter, that's there, that's raw, and that's, you know, it's hard to get to that place and be open in that way. But it's the most rewarding when someone connects with something that is just so transparent.
So was that where LifestylO comes in and kind of as a turning point?
Yeah, absolutely. I wrote it for my wife and I proposed to her with it, and it's, you know, it's so special because when I wrote it, it was a really, I was in a kind of weird place. I was having a hard time because I was working on the full album, the Hell's Kitchen Angel album, and I was kind of hitting a wall, and I had put out, you know, some music that I felt like it wasn't fully there yet, and so I kept trying to write things that I thought would be big. And that's the worst thing to do. You can't try to do something like that, you know? You can work hard at it, but you can't like try to make something that isn't true to you. And so I kind of, in a way, I just like gave up on that and just wanted to write something for her and didn't care what happened to the song. And ironically, the greatest lesson is that it's beautiful that that's the song that's connected with people the most, because I just wanted it to be, you know, a love song for her. And it's beautiful that it's become people's love songs in such a wonderful way.
Is it difficult to steer away from kind of the pressure or the expectations that people have, especially coming from a Nickelodeon show and those kind of things?
Totally, yeah. It's difficult because I think it's really easy for you to be put into a box every time, and I've had that over and over again. I put myself in a box of Nickelodeon and then a box of like YouTube and doing covers, and every time you kind of put yourself in boxes, they do great things for you, but then people say, "Oh, you're just this. Like you're not going to be this." And that's hard because you do it to yourself, but also you want to be more than something, and that's hard to accept. But I've definitely I accept in certain ways, like if someone just knows the Nickelodeon stuff, but they're still here and listening, that I'm grateful for that. Or they've just heard the YouTube covers, but they're still here, I'm grateful for that. You know, so I try to make sure that it's something that I appreciate, but can move on from and say that happened, but I want to do this, and I want to just create music of my own that people can connect with, hopefully.
Yeah, in that sense, is there a vision that you have of yourself, or do you understand what you want now better?
Absolutely. It's my wife has really made me realize that, because with her anywhere in the world I feel safe, so it's easier to take risks or feel comfortable wearing certain things or doing certain things or saying certain things. And you know, a great example is that we definitely stand for love is love and equality and human rights in a way. And it's beautiful. Like the other night in Amsterdam, before Lights Down Low, we always say that the song stands for love, whether you are gay, straight, bisexual, transgender, whatever somebody is. And the other night, right before I said the speech, someone threw a rainbow flag that said Max on it at me, and I caught it like right away. And it was beautiful because my vision is that every night our shows are accepting of whoever, no matter someone's race, religion, age, and to have a diverse crowd where people feel safe and people want to come back with everyone, and can really lose themselves and not be insecure or feel any certain way. That's the dream always, and to have the music be that, rather than something that's about me, being about this community, being about a safe space and a safe world for these people.
And might sound a bit silly, but is it important to kind of re-emphasize that in
Yeah,
these days?
absolutely. And sometimes it feels interesting it feels funny to say it over and over
Right.
again. But, I realize that we are in new places, or if I say the same thing every day, it's because it's just how we feel. It's true. And sometimes I think that it's important that you do reemphasize it, because you have to stand for what you stand for. And certain places we go, people don't accept the things that we accept, and that's okay. That's something that it's the only way, I think, to start a conversation, to hopefully make everyone understand each other, because it's easy to make someone else is evil for thinking the way they do or feeling the way they do. But it's, we're all so similar in many ways, and we all just want to love the people we love, and we want to feel safe, and we want to feel accepted. And that's even the person you think is evil wants to feel that same way in their own way. And I think that talking about it is the only way to understand each other better.
And musically then, because well, there's also a lot of influences: hip hop, soul, electronics. So where do you start and kind of from LifestylO onwards? Where do you now start when you think about a new song?
That's a great question. I'm in that phase right now for the second album. I've been writing a lot, and I try to think, don't try to do something you've done before. Just focus on the feeling, whatever the stories are, and just focus on those, even if it's a completely different thing. Or so that's sort of what I've been trying to stay in. Like what's now we've been to Amsterdam for the first time. Like, what experiences have we had here that are, what's the core of those experiences that makes sense everywhere. So that's sort of the theme always, is to not think about, I can't write Lights Down Low again over and over again, even though I've put out a million versions of it. I can't write it again. What can I write? And not try to write something similar to it, not try to copy it. What can I write that's the same authentic feeling of anything else?
And well, you say you're in the middle of it. So what have you noticed about where your mind is going now?
I definitely, there's certain moments where there's a pressure to make something similar, or to figure out something that is as special, of course. And in doing so, I hit the same wall where I'm trying to create something as special, and then there's other moments where I just let it go, and I realize that those are the moments I need to get to. But those are sometimes the hardest moments to get to that. Like, we're very guarded even when we are vulnerable, and so when I try to peel back the layers to get to this special place, that's the hardest part, but also the most rewarding.
Yeah, is that a confronting thing to do, because you're kind of delving into your own psyche? And
Totally. Like, there was a song on the last album called Home, and I wrote it the day after Emily and I, we thought that we were going to have a baby, maybe. Like, we thought that she was pregnant. And it was basically, we found out that she wasn't pregnant, but it was the 24 hours of me not knowing if she was or she wasn't. And how all the thoughts and all the feelings. And that was the first time I sort of wrote a song like that. Just being that honest about every hour and every thought and every minute of not being able to sleep, and what are the things that you think about in that moment. And sharing that, I shared it with two other people that I wrote it with. I walked in, and we didn't really know each other very well, and suddenly I'm telling them I thought that my wife was pregnant, and this is the whole story, and they just met like we just met, and that made me realize, though, that you just have to be that open. Like, in the end, it's funny to be that honest to someone that you just met or you don't really know. But that's music. You're telling someone a story that's never met you through this song, and that's where I always want to try to get back to.
Final question then. Is that something you had to learn to do, to be open towards people and towards the audience?
I think I'm still learning every day. I think that it's something that, it's kind of like sleeping. Every night you're like, how did I do this last night? How did I fall asleep last night? And when you start thinking about it, you're like, I don't even know. What state was I in? Like, how did I get to that perfect place where I just fell asleep? And it's in the same way that every day I'm trying to learn to figure out the habits to be the most open or honest. And I think that I'll never truly learn. And I think that's what's special about it. If you could write something that special every day, then it wouldn't be special when you find those songs or those things in your life.
I think that's a good ending. Max, thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for your
This was
time.
wonderful. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Slay. That was wonderful,
Right.
man. What a
Thank
wonderful
you.
interview.
Thank you. Very
Thank
nice
you
of
very
you to
much.
say.